Welcome back to the Virtual Antics podcast. I'm your host, Natalie Guzman. I have the amazing Kristen Hillman with me, and I'm so excited for you guys to hear her story and her journey. So welcome, Kristen.
Thank you, Natalie, for having me.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about you. What do you do? Where are you from?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am in Houston, Texas, but one of the beautiful things of the business world now is it doesn't matter. I do financial reporting and strategy. My business is Viticula. It's a little hard to say, but it has deep meaning for me personally. I have expansive corporate accounting and finance experience. And when I found this online business world, I quickly realized so many of my peers had no idea how to run a business. These hobbies, especially in 2020, exploded into cash cows, but they had no idea how to run a business, what's appropriate to spend. And so that's where Viticula came from. I part-time homeschool my kids and they study Latin heavily. And that's where the name Viticula comes from. It's a Latin word meaning little vines. And I love opening a bottle of wine and having community with my friends. And that's what I desire for bringing the finance discussion to a business. It's like we're opening a bottle of wine together. We're just chatting and strategizing and making it comfortable because I know for so many people, it causes so much anxiety. And so that's kind of my goal. That's the direction of where we're headed, is to really bring up to the forefront that talking about financials, planning is not scary and it's actually empowering.
That is amazing. I own 3 businesses. So financial planning is always can be really overwhelming because I have 3 different budgets and, all these different, tax things and trying to plan, the savings and then the growth and trying to make sure I don't commingle all of them is can be really overwhelming. So that's awesome. So you're do you say you're more a coach where you kind of guide them through the steps, or how would you describe your position?
So Viticula is a boutique CFO firm. And so we do full done for you. We have very customized financial statements that we provide, and then CFO support above and beyond that. We also have a consulting side, but that is fully customized and really for higher level, typically entrepreneurs that are over 7 figures that really already have good, solid financial statements, but don't know what to do with them.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. So what's kind of the journey that they go through when they, sign up for boutique? What are the kind of steps that you guys go through with them?
Yeah, sure. The first thing we do is because I believe in a holistic view of the business. I'm not a fan of the whack-a-mole concept where every part is different and separate. So we take a step back, and because of all of my corporate experience, and I was in an executive level, we look at the business as a whole. We also take a step back for you as the entrepreneur or founder and really understand your mindset about money, how it's impacting your decisions, because I can't help guide you if I don't know the basis and the foundation of the types of decisions you're making. So we go through a pretty extensive review process and really understanding your mindset on money, numbers. There seems to be no commonality on where somebody is financially or just size-wise in their business and their money mindset. It's completely unrelated. So that's why we brought that piece in. And then we kind of go to the operational standpoint, making sure that your financial data is there, that it's accurate, or do we take over and implement a new custom reporting system? And then we start really diving in, and every client has a different journey. The business is different and unique, but everything we do comes back to you and what are your personal goals? Because I have clients that have zero desire to work more than certain hours a week. I have clients that need every penny out of their business. And so we customize that plan. The firm is a CFO firm. So we focus primarily, the niche is on financial strategy for service providers, though.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely neat. And I've realized that, a majority of my friends are entrepreneurs. And so I've realized, how we made our money, the different incomes, how many hours we work, it's all different, right? I know a lot of people always ask me, my business hit 6 figures in 3 months. And they always ask, oh, how much did you spend on ad spend? It was all organic. So just that was my first thing that I realized as that so many businesses are different because, you know, some are focused on organic, some focus on PPC, which is like Google, you know, pay-per-click ads, so like Google ads. And then some are like Facebook ads, you know, and things like that. So it's crazy how many different aspects go into not only our business, but our financials of our business too.
Right. Well, because ultimately we're here to make money and there's no reason to be ashamed to say that. If you're not, it's a hobby, and don't ever say those words. The IRS will just nail you if you say that. But I mean, we're here to run a business. And so we want to make sure we're profitable and healthy financially. And sometimes that means add to a healthy percentage. Sometimes it means do not waste your money on ads. It's all unique because we're unique. That's the beauty of starting your own business, is you build it for you and your lifestyle and what you want it to look like. So yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I notice a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't invest enough in getting help with their financials. They think that they can do it all. I did my bookkeeping for the longest time, and there's still some things that I do that I shouldn't be doing. And I know that. So what would you say to that entrepreneur that is kind of keeping all their financials tight to their chest and does need help and realize it?
Well, I think that first and foremost, it comes with realizing it's a key piece of a business. Like if you go and look at corporate, whether you have a happy, negative, or no opinion, they do have a pretty structured C-suite, meaning the CEO has, key people in the different parts of the business. All of these parts of the business are really important. Having operational support and having financial support is just as important as having marketing support. It's a valuable part of the business. And I feel like at the time of this recording, we just finished my monthly calls with all of my CFO clients, and there was a common theme of a lot of them are looking for a head of operations. I think there's a shift where people are starting to realize, okay, like all this stuff matters. It matters to my sanity. It keeps me from burnout, and it actually will help me increase the bottom line. I mean, you are required to have financials. You have to file taxes, period. In my opinion, why would you not use that information? Because you got it anyway, and use it to make really smart, confident decisions as you're trying to, evolve your business, whether that's scaling or pivoting or whatever. So to me, it's got to be there anyway. You might as well know how to read the numbers, be educated, and use the numbers. That means you got to have accurate financials and timely. Like you can't use them if you get, a report from your bookkeeper 3 months later. That's too late.
Yeah. And it's funny because the last couple episodes I've kind of talked a little bit about, analyzing your data and to make improvements in your business. So getting a sample size, monitoring that data, see how you can improve, see what's not working, what's working. We're not doing that with our financials. I feel like a lot of people are just saying, oh, it is what it is, or they'll have their buckets and they follow maybe like profit first or some sort of method. They're not really going deeper into that, analyzing like what are they using? Like you said a couple of times, you said, oh, we're using what we're not using, or do we really need that? And those are really key questions we need to be asking and analyzing in our financials. I think it's extremely important.
Yeah, pretty often I have a client, she's in a service space, it's actually in-person servicing, not online. And she had an extensive list of offerings that she provided. And the management and the operations of all of this list, we decided it was time to streamline, eliminate some of those offerings. And the first step that we did was I had her and her team track their time. They didn't want to do it, but we have to know how much time not only are you spending, but your team's spending. You bring time, you bring your heart and passion, and you bring the financial information, because she realized something that was her heart, they were spending almost no time on and making no money. And it's like, okay, do we want to increase the time to see if you make more money? She also found that there was a offering that she had that was dollar amount the most that she was bringing in, over 50% of her revenue, but she hated it. And it was very strategic that we started putting in place team members to run that because it was too much to get rid of, but it wasn't with her heart. So then we brought up the team hours and reduced her hours. And so it's got to all be brought together, but it's got to be a piece. Otherwise, you're kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we want to make a good profit, you know? So it's what I do. It's all I know, but I just can't imagine running a business without having that foundation of what's happening or what's going to happen. Core of what I do, I have bookkeepers that do the past, the historical. So everything I do is about looking forward. And that would be scary to me to run a business without strategically looking forward.
Going back to what you said about tracking time, if you are a service-based industry, I feel like you have to track your employees' times. And if you have a online business, I use Hubstaff. It's actually amazing because I can record my employees' time. I have them, each client is their own project. And then they also do record the specific tasks they're doing for that client because that's for my VA agency. So that was really important because a client would say, does it really take that long to do that task? I can tell you how many times I've gotten asked that. Records, we have screen recordings. You can see exactly what happened and how long it took and all the different breakdowns. But it's also not only with that scenario, it also helps me because then I can really plan for the future. I know, okay, so it takes this person this long to do it. So next person I hire, in the first 30 days, it's going to take them a little longer, but then within 30 days, they should be caught up to that person's time, if not better. And so that's kind of how I also manage my employees. I think time tracking can just really be great for, your financial, planning. I think that's amazing.
I totally agree, especially in the agency model. They've got to track their time anyway, more than likely, whether they are billing you or your, part-time employee. And if you're passing those hours directly on to the client, it's so valuable. We use, which does the exact same thing. And I have core tasks for the bookkeepers, and it's standard across all clients, all projects. And just the information helps also, like in your example, if your VAs are starting to get maxed out, you have so much data on how early can you hire somebody and how quickly are you going to be able to bring them financially up to speed where, they're billing as much as you're paying them. It makes it so simple and non-emotional, where you're not like stressing, can I afford this person or not? Well,
Yes, I love VA agencies. It's just a really easy business model. And so you really can't go wrong. And everyone needs a virtual assistant these days. So It worked out perfectly. And I actually did that while raising my kids at home as well. So do you have any financial systems when it comes to your kids and how you're teaching them?
Oh, that's such a good question. Yes, we do. I have teenagers now, but when they were little, like your kids' age, we would pretty often, probably, especially in the summer more often, we go to buy a Lego set and I would give them each $20 and say, here you go. Well, most of those Lego sets are way more than $20. So they had to first decide, do I want to hold this $20 and wait till next time when I have 20 more and I can get the one I want? Or do I just buy something now and then get home and it's done in 2 minutes? And so that was a really interesting, and it wasn't necessarily intentional, but once I started doing it and they learned tax, just because it's $9.99 does not mean I'm paying $9.99, to put that little extra buffer in. So they started that and they now remember that pretty well. My youngest actually even talked about it last week and she said, my money, she thought she had earned that $20 and she owned that whole process. It's like my money, but whatever. And then when my kids hit 15, we actually moved to, I would not call it, we just send a set amount to their account each month, but that is for all the optionals. That's lunch with friends, that's birthday presents, that's, do you want to buy some makeup, whatever it is, and they start to realize how much they're actually spending or not spending on that kind of thing. And it's been really interesting to watch the different personalities and how that they manage that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I love financial systems with motherhood because I'm a former foster kid. So no one really showed me, the different financials and how to handle them and things like that. And so it was really important to me when I became a mom to implement that with my children. And one of the things we do is I don't pay them for chores because I feel like that's a responsibility that they should already be doing. So, but I do, yeah. So I pay them to read a book. So yeah. So that way, because my daughter has dyslexia. So it could be a little bit, she loves to read, but it could be a little bit harder for her. And then two, my son would rather be on electronic, which we don't really have in our house, but he always finds a way to like steal a phone or something. So I'm like, let's just, you'll get money, but he loves money. So I was like, you'll get some money if you read a book, you gotta read it. You guys tell me what it's about. It helps with the reading comprehension as well. And it's kind of like a challenge for them, which I think a good competitive spirit is always amazing. And then I let them set. So, growing up, you always hear, like put 10% for savings and 10% you can spend or whatnot, and all the different, however they broke it up. And my kids, I let them decide. I said, how many dollars until you want to spend $1? And so my daughter, who likes, toys a little bit more often and likes more like the quick pleasure, right? She says every $5 I want $1, and she'll go straight to Dollar Tree and get a toy. My son says every $15 he saves, he wants $1. And then he saves that dollar till he gets enough to buy whatever big toy he wants. So it might take him a little bit longer, but he gets a cooler toy. So it's like you said, the personalities, and I think it works for them. I don't think, you're kind of talking about how you're entrepreneurs, it's all different plans. And I think with our kids, it should be the same way. So because my daughter just wants, toys a little bit more often, they're a lesser value. That's, that plan works for her. Whereas my son wants really expensive Pokemon things. So it works for him just to save, and he wants to build up his savings because he likes to see money grow. That's enjoyable to him. So I think I'm starting to learn that it's like really important to have that different financials, even for your children. So that way it can still fit with their personality, but they're still learning discipline and not like hating it. So
that's so true. And I think that, there's so much advice out there, whether it's in the business world or the personal world, you need to do this and do this and do this, budget, don't budget. And I truly think that is an individual decision, because some of my clients, we forecast in such detail because they want that. I have others that are like, show me 3 charts and that's all I want. Anything else will stress me out, And I think it's important to understand how you feel about it and create your own processes, and that your kids are already starting to figure that out is so great.
Yeah, for the listeners that don't know, my kids they were 5 and 6 when we started this. My daughter is turning 7 this weekend. We're so excited. So yeah, I think we started talking about money with them when they were like 3 and 4. It's just been, my kids kind of know about a lot of things. Probably most kids find out when they're a little bit older, but I think that's just kind of my upbringing and, how I raised my kids. So yeah, they have a blast, and it's really cool to see them really thinking about money in a smart, strategic way, right? Instead of just like, Mom, what are you going to buy me today? And instead they're thinking, how can I save up to buy this toy?
I love that. That's very wise.
Well, I'm so excited that you were here to share all your knowledge today, Kristen. So thank you so much. Where can everyone find you and your company?
Absolutely. So on Instagram, we are Vit Financial, and our website is viticulafinancial.com. We have some great resources out there if you're not really sure where you are, what do I need to be doing next? And it is my joy to help other women grow their businesses.
Awesome. I'll make sure I put that in the show notes as well. And we'll talk to you guys next time.